So post-launch, we're continuing with AWS as the primary cloud platform, but what kind of discussions begin to happen and what began the sea change in how Magic Leap viewed their cloud platform?
So core to the long-term philosophy of Magic Leap was the idea of live stream, of that we always knew that there was going to be data coming from the device, oceans of data, and that data needs to be structured and protected in a way that drives ownership back to the person who generated that data. And so Livestream went from a concept and over the next 3 months after launch into an actual cost center. And we designed the architecture. So I was fortunate enough to be both the chief architect of Livestream as well as the business product guy. And so with that, Livestream was born to be able to absorb that customer data, and CSD was a critical part of that. So we had within that stack and that platform, so Livestream can be considered as a customer-facing data product platform that consisted of 14 underlying projects. Each of those projects were massive in scale. So anywhere from 20 to 40,000 hours of work per project. And those are standing upon some cutting edge technologies like blockchain, smart contracts, priority in contracts, and so on. Not only were you able to give us a full vertical scaling, so everything from business analysts to data scientists, but where we had incumbents that on some of those cutting edge technologies that couldn't meet our need, you were able to pivot very quickly at the last minute, take my call, find resources, and deliver value. And so from some of the blockchain technology perspective, within 2 months, you were able to deliver more value than we had achieved within probably the year before.
When did GCP come into focus?
So the fun part of that was it was almost simultaneous. Right around the time that Livestream really took life, the company went into the direction of two points. One, we want to be able to not be dependent on any cloud provider. So we want our technology to be cloud agnostic. So if we needed to support Azure or Oracle or GCP or AWS, we could. And there was a business decision that primarily Magic Leap would be focused on GCP, right? Google certainly is an investor and on the board. With that, there was Livestream being a new entity. We were given a direction, we had to go 100% GCP. One of the values you brought was GCP was brand new for Magic Leap. There was very little effort done. So all of the work that had been done to stand up architecture, data modeling, security, information, key management, everything that was there did not exist in GCP. So while we were in flight, we had to build the airplane around us, and it was your team that did that. And the extra value that came from it is that everything that your team built then got pushed out to the rest of the Magic Leap enterprise. So then other teams completely unrelated to Livestream or core data that were migrating to GCP were taking the benefits of that.
And consuming
Correct.
that data.
Consuming the data and the technology design, right? And the features that you are helping, whether our information security management team or other groups build out.
Yeah, now we made a tremendous investment in training and certification for yet another cloud team while the AWS team continued to support that environment.
Yes, and I think that's from the very beginning one of the inherent values of CHT. When you deal with a lot of vendors, you have people that have spent the past 20 years focused on a particular application module or business process, and they're going to spend the next 20 years focused very specifically specialized on that. And though you can provide those people as needed, you have people that have a certain professional ownership that they're willing to pivot and learn. They have an intellectual curiosity. So for a company like Magic Leap that is always looking to be not just on the cutting edge, but the bleeding edge, your contractors were often more invested than our employees to learn more, to pivot, to support rapid changes. Because one of the other natures of Magic Leap is you never knew what you were going to do. On your drive in, you had a plan. You knew by 5 minutes in the building, that plan was not going to be reality. Yeah. Where many other leaders would have to either give delayed project plans or have excuses from the technology side, whether it was TSS, core data, Livestream, CHT enabled us to be able to give yes answers. So when an executive said, we want to pivot today, okay, tomorrow you're going to have it.
And how was the journey to becoming fully enabled in GCP different from the prior year's AWS enablement?
We had no one inside Magic Leap that had any GCP knowledge. So it was completely greenfield. So where with AWS, we had our cloud team who understood AWS, but we didn't really have people within data that had the architectural understanding that Roy brought to us. With GCP, it was completely greenfield. So we knew our destination, what we needed to do. We didn't know the path to get there. And that maturity, much of it came from your team.